Hello, Kidmin Nation, and welcome to another deep dive session. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm so honored to be joining you today. You can find me online pretty much everywhere at Corey Ray Jones. So a little bit about me. I have been a Christ follower now for 21 years. So excited about that milestone. I've been in ministry for 11 years, and I've been happily married for 10 and a half years. Currently, I'm serving as the executive pastor for the Next Generation, tongue twister, at Southern Hills Christian Church that's a little bit west of Atlanta. Basically, I oversee the birth through college ministries here and absolutely love it. On the side, I'm a coach with Jim Weidman Ministries. I write for Orange, U Specialties D6, pretty much anybody that will take me. And I'm the social media specialist for Kids Matter and all things Kidmin Nation. So I help oversee the I Love Kidmin Facebook group, which has over 10,000 people in it. I hope you're a member. Today, I'll be talking about social media strategies, how to painlessly take full advantage of this tremendous tool for you and the families in your church. And I believe this is so incredibly important. Why? Because there are families in your church that are on social media. Statistics say that 83% of Americans have a social media account. You can find that stat on Hootsuite, which is another great resource for your social media stuff. I'll talk about more about that in a little bit. For now, the families in your church are on social media. It's a place where they connect. It's a place where you can reach out to them. And so I challenge you to take advantage of this opportunity. And then the families outside of your church. Another stat for you, 28% of people would rather engage with a brand or organization on social media before they ever visit a physical location. So 28% of people out in your community who are looking for a church home would rather go to your webpage, to Facebook, to social media, to engage with your brand before they're ever stepping foot on your facilities. So I believe it's important. I believe we should be good stewards of this ministry that God has opened up for us. Jesus taught a great story of the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. I'm going to read a little bit to you. It says, one man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you've trusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have earned 5 more. And his master replied, you have done well, good and faithful slave. You've been faithful with a few things, and I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. And the man with 2 bags of gold also came, saying, Master, you've trusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I've earned 2 more. And his master replied, you've done well, good and faithful slave. You've been faithful with a few things, and I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came and said, Master, I knew that you are a hard man. You harvested where you have not planted. You gather crops where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid. I went and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. And his master replied, you evil and lazy slave. I want for you and for me that when we go be with God in heaven, that he looks at us and says, well done, good and faithful servant or slave, that you have been faithful with the little things, even things like social media. Social media is a great tool, and I believe we need to take full advantage of it for the people inside and outside of our church. So if I were to sum up the rest of my talk with one word for social media, the goal for you, just abbreviated down into one word, it would be engagement. Engagement. You want to be social on social media. You want people to be involved with your content, to see it, to interact with it, to like it, to reply, to leave comments, to share, download, read, play, put you on lists, pins, to follow or become a fan, and to click through to your webpage. You want engagement and engagement for God's kingdom. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions today. We're going to be a little bit interactive. I know this is a pre-recorded thing, but it's just my teaching style, so bear with me. I want you to think right now of all of the different mediums, like to connect socially. What is the biggest, most active Is it Facebook? Is it Snapchat? Is it, what do you think? No, really, I want you to think about it. What is it? What is the biggest? Okay, I hope that you've put in your guess, you've locked it in, and I'm going to start sharing today about the social media. And this one is a little bit different. You have to think a little bit different, change your thinking on that. The biggest, hands down, is text messaging. I heard John Acuff teach this, and it changed my mind when it came to some social media stuff. And he said that there are 4.5 billion, that's with a B, 4.5 billion active monthly users of text messaging. That is a social tool. And 97% of Americans are using this tool at least once a day. Text messages have a 98% open rate. Comparing that to email, which is 20% open rate. And then the stat that just gets me is that 90% of all text messages are read in under 3 minutes. So it's active, it's engaging, people are reading it very quick. This social media, text messaging, is different. And so my strategy for you today, what I want you to think about, is to change your thinking when it comes to social media. It doesn't all have to be Facebook and those boxes that we put things in. Text messaging is huge. So how are you taking advantage of text messaging inside your church? Do you have a good resource? There's tons of them, tons of text messaging services, and they don't have to be complex. But are you using them? Are you being consistent with them? Because people read them in under 3 minutes, 90%. And it's engaging. And text messaging, it is social media. We don't think of it like that because on social media, I'm at Corey Ray Jones. But you do have a handle. On text messaging, it's just a number, and it's a little bit longer and hard to remember. But it is. So think about that. Text messaging. What am I doing for God's kingdom? How am I using it to bring God glory? Next, social media, and I'm going to create some more strategies for you. What's the next biggest social media platform? Most active users. Yes, I imagine some of you have guessed this one. It's the beast, Facebook. 1.55 billion active monthly users. 70% of all Americans are active on Facebook, according to Pew Research. And Facebook is just changing the way we do things. So instead of buying the books with all the names, Yellow Pages, instead of buying Yellow Pages ads or even billboards, those are a thing of the past. They've changed. Now Facebook makes it so that your ad can be right here, the click of a button on everybody's device, and very specific targeted markets of people. Facebook's also changed some things like video. 100 million hours of video content is watched on Facebook every day. And so Facebook's huge and people are using it. So what is your strategy with it? How are you engaging with the families in your church? And I said families. There's kids. Now they're under 13. They shouldn't be on social media according to the standards that are put in place. But you can still engage with kids even though they're not on the platform. So you can do this. Maybe you create a Facebook page or a Facebook group. Those are different, and both can be closed or open. So for instance, my church, we have an open Facebook page for our kids ministry. And on that page, we'll post a video and a question. Those are our most engaging posts. So the question simply says something for parents to ask their kids after the video. It's a good next step for them. And then the video is a great video. It's a video that the kids want to watch. And so we'll tell our kids, hey, today after church, ask your parents if you can watch that video on the Facebook page. And then the kids want to watch that video because it's great content. And then the parents win because they can sit there with the kid, they can watch a spiritual video, having a great conversation afterward. And we just put the ball on the tee for that family in helping them engage with their kids with a spiritual conversation through Facebook. So on that page, they have that question, They have the video, and we give them resources. We share with them events, but we're not just dumping content onto there. We want to engage with the family. We'll interact with them, go both ways. Also, I want you to think about groups. Groups are different than pages. Both have different benefits, they're just different. You need to do a little bit of research on it. If you don't have either, check out both and look at the benefits of one versus the other. One of the things that I love about groups, we have closed Facebook groups for each of the different ministry areas in our church where we connect with parents, and we connect parents with small group leaders, helping bridge that gap. And on the group, because it's a closed group, we can post things like pictures of the kids engaging in worship or through an activity, and we can share with the parents ways that the kids were just winning at doing ministry in the church. I love that. And each state's a little bit different. In different contexts, you're allowed to post pictures, you're not allowed to post pictures. I would suggest if you're not sure to talk with like your insurance provider, they don't want to be sued. They don't want you to be sued. And so they can help you out knowing what is legally allowed when it comes to sharing pictures of kids. But I know for us in our context, I can share pictures on that closed group, and my parents love seeing their kids. They love seeing their kids engaged in worship. And so we have those groups where parents can connect, where small group leaders can connect, and where our kids want to go. They want to borrow mom's phone, not to just play a game, but to watch a video that teaches them about God. So Facebook's huge. Develop a strategy. Next, social media. Talked about text messaging. It's real big. Facebook, it's super big too. So what would be your guess of the next biggest one? There's a lot of social medias out there. Which one's killing it? Did you guess? Let's see if you guessed right. The next biggest with 1 billion active monthly users is YouTube. I wouldn't have guessed that one. When I was doing the research, I was like, YouTube? Wow, they're so big, and I didn't even realize it. But then once I started to think about it, I was like, well, yeah, because they're doing so much. Almost 1/3 of all the people on the internet right now are people watching hundreds of millions of hours on YouTube-generated content, making billions of views. YouTube is the second biggest search engine. Think about it. Like if you want to find out how to do something, maybe you Google it, and then if you're like, nope, or maybe you see the video in YouTube and you click that one. That's what I do all the time. I will search for content of how to do things a lot of times on YouTube. All right, so let's pop quiz for you. User-generated content on YouTube. Which video has the most views? Which video has the most views? Let's see. I'll give you some options. Is it the evolution of dance? A lot of people are familiar with this video. Is it the ice cream cupcake playset Play-Doh unboxing? And are you familiar with that one? What about this one? Charlie Bit My Finger. I think some of you are familiar with that one. That one cracks me up. So which is the most views of those three videos? Charlie Bit My Finger, Evolution of Dance, or that cupcake play set thing? It is Charlie Bit My Finger with 847 million views. But what's crazy to me is second is that cupcake thing. You should watch it. Check it out. 837 million people have. If you haven't, check it out. And then the evolution of dance, that's third, but it's only at 300 million. It's significantly underneath that. All right, I hope you know some stuff about YouTube. Let's see. YouTube reaches the 18 to 34-year-old and the 18 to 49-year-old group more than any cable network in the US. And let's see, who have you subscribed to on YouTube? And who are your kids subscribed to on YouTube? Who are the parents in your ministry subscribed to? Those are good questions. Those are questions that maybe Sunday morning you should ask. What are your kids watching? What's entertaining them? Here's a strategy for you. I want you to engage. Remember, that's our word, to engage. And I want you to engage with different groups. Maybe you're volunteers. Maybe you make some videos and they don't have to be the top of the line, most amazing videos. Most of my volunteer videos are shot on my phone. I do plug in a mic. It gets better audio quality, but the video content can be engaging for your volunteers. Maybe you make a how-to video, how to help a family with check-in, how to read through the content and prepare for a small group lesson, how to discipline the children during the large group environment. These are videos that you can create. It doesn't take a lot of time. Really, it can cost zero money. And you can make these videos to engage with your volunteers. Also, engage with the students and the families in your ministry. You could post videos, but my challenge to you is post videos that you think they're going to want to share. That they're that good that they're not just going to want to keep it to themselves, but they're going to want to share it with a friend. Kids watch a lot of YouTube. That's a stat that you should probably Google. How many hours of YouTube is the average kid watching? I imagine it's just huge. I didn't do the research for that one, so I don't know. All right, let's see. We talked about text, Facebook, YouTube. And what about the next one? What's the next biggest one? Again, I wouldn't have guessed this one. 540 million active users on this platform, and it's Google Plus. Yeah, Google Plus. Who would have guessed? Google Plus has a percentage of people in the 15 to 34-year-old. That's like 28%. It's insane. The total number of unique monthly visits, though, is only 27 million. So some of these numbers just are weird. Like another one, Google Plus, the average time spent on Google Plus is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. So you bring up Google Plus, you're on it for 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Facebook is 18 minutes. Some of us are guilty of wasting some time throughout the day. 18 minutes is the average when you bring it up. And YouTube is 40 minutes. So a lot more time on that one. But Google Plus is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Not a whole lot of engaging time on that platform, but it's still one that's generating a lot of views. So what is our strategy in this? How can we better use Google Plus? Because some of us aren't using it at all. My challenge for you is to maybe not spend a ton of time on that site because they're not spending a lot of time on there, but maybe put some stuff on there because it's people are using it, and it might be an untapped group that other people aren't reaching that you can reach. But I do want to just remind you, our job as a pastor is people. And so if we're spending all of our time on social, then we're missing out. We might even feel like we're connecting with people, but those one-on-one conversations change things. So maybe Google Plus, you can't do everything, but you can do something. All right, next one up is Instagram. 400 million active monthly users. And most Instagram users fall in the 18 to 29-year-old age. And about 6 in 10 online adults are on Instagram. Now, Instagram is a photo sharing site, and it has changed over the years, but man, if you think about photos, they've changed so much just in the last 15 years, maybe. Before, I know if you're anything like me, you'd go buy those disposable cameras, the ones that you had to, it just took forever. And it was so embarrassing when you needed to take a picture, but you had to crank the thing. Anyway, you got these cameras and they only held like 24 pictures maybe. And you would take the pictures, like sometimes today we're even just like 24. We would sparingly take those pictures. And then we would take them to the grocery store, put them into a bag with our address and information on it, drop it into that mysterious black box, and then hope that in a week or two, we'd get those pictures back and we'd be able to look at our memories. That was just like 15 years ago. And man, things have changed. Now, how many pictures have you taken just today? I imagine you've taken a lot. And you share those pictures, and people are sharing them on Instagram. All right, let's think. Pop quiz for you. What is the most commonly Instagrammed food? People take a lot of pictures of your food. Are you guilty of that? I do every now and then. Or coffee. I like to take pictures of my coffee. But food. What's the most Instagram food? Is it sushi? Is it steak? Or is it pizza? Which do you think it is? It's sushi, steak, pizza. It is not steak. It's not sushi. It's pizza. People take pictures of their pizza all the time. And it might just be because people, some people don't like sushi. And everybody likes pizza, or most people. What about the most common filter? Do you know the names of the filters? Mayfair. And that's the most popular. And then the second is like no filter at all, which is crazy because they have them all built in. All right, Instagram. What is your strategy? I would say to create a team for social media. Now, this can be directly for Instagram, or maybe you even use this strategy for all of the social media that we're talking about. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, I would say that it's healthier if you're not, if you have a team of people that you're pouring into, just like every other ministry that there is at your church. This is a ministry to connect with people. So develop a team. Maybe on your team, you have a photographer. If they bring their camera and they're taking pictures, I would bet that they're going to take better pictures and more pictures than you can take while you're doing all the other things that ministry requires. Maybe you have a team that creates some content specifically to engage parents. Maybe you have a team, maybe even kids or students that are scheduling and maybe even posting content on your behalf. Creating a team is healthy. And so create a team of people that are going to help you with this social media thing. Maybe that's Instagram, or maybe it's all of them. All right, next up, my favorite. Of all of the social media platforms, my favorite is Twitter. 320 active monthly users, still continuing to grow, although it's 10 years old now. And one fact for you, 81% of millennials check Twitter at least once per day. And on Twitter, here's the thing, you're not penalized for being inactive for a time. So say you only want to post on Sunday, you're not going to be penalized currently. Social media changes all the time. But on Twitter, people still see it. Facebook, Instagram, some of these other platforms, if you don't post on a very regular schedule, then Facebook will penalize you and they'll push that content down further into the feed where people don't see it. But Twitter isn't like that. If you post, people see it. And so that's one of the things that I personally like about Twitter. I like creating lists of people and connecting. So let's see this question. Who has the most followers on Twitter? I'll give you three options. Is it Barack Obama, Justin Bieber, or Katy Perry? Who has the most followers on Twitter? With third place, with 85 million, is Barack Obama. Second place, 92 million, Justin Bieber. And in first place, if you go with places, I guess, Katy Perry, 96 million people. There are a lot of people following those folks on Twitter. Let's see. Another thing for you, Twitter, it does so much better when you post an image with it. In fact, it's an 18% more clicks than tweets without images. So Twitter's a great resource. I want you to use it. Here's my strategy for Twitter for you today. One of the things that's so unique about Twitter is you can engage with influencers on Twitter different than you can on any other social platform. So if there's somebody that you want to connect with in your field or outside of your field, check out Twitter. Maybe you send a message to @RyanFrank75. He's going to see it and you can connect with him. That's one of the crazy things about Twitter. You can actually connect with real influencers in your field. And so I would challenge you, follow those people, engage with those people, and likes are free. You can begin liking people's stuff, which gets you in front of them and can help you with networking later for free. is crazy. So at your next conference, like, you can actually sit down with somebody. You could start that. So engage with influencers and explore Twitter for that one. It's the best place. Next up, 300 million active users. And this one has a little bit of controversy, so bear with me. Snapchat. Snapchat has 300 million active monthly users. That's a lot of people. Now, Snapchat was created with bad intentions. You can read about that online. But my question for you is, maybe how can you redeem it? Instead of just completely throwing it out, how can you redeem it for God? Because on any given day, Snapchat reaches 41% of 18 to 34-year-olds in the United States. 41% of this young adult group every single day. That's a lot of folks. 60% of daily active Snapchat chatters, if that's the word, create snaps every day. 60%. They're active on it. And the percentage of Snapchat users that are under 25 years old is 71%. So our young people are there. And it's not the cleanest of places. The goal behind the thing is it's image sharing, but those images disappear within a 24-hour span of time. One of the reasons people love it is because it's more raw. You don't have to go on and get the perfect picture with the perfect filter. It can just be real you, and people like that. But it can also get into some hairy situations. So I challenge you with the strategy, and it's one that this is a harder one because I don't personally push people to Snapchat just because I see the danger in it. But people are there, and I think we need to redeem it. So here's my strategy for you today. You can create a filter on Snapchat and host it for like a time span specific to your geolocation. And so maybe for an event at your church, maybe it's a Mother's Day that's coming up. You create a Mother's Day image to go over an image. You add that filter to Snapchat and people see your church. Maybe that's one of the ways you redeem it. And if you're not the most tech savvy and you're like, create a filter, oh, I don't know about that. There are other sites on there that can help you with it. I've used Pepper Filter in the past. And Pepper Filter, they made it really, really easy. I think it was maybe $25. Don't remember. But that is a great place that you can go on and make a little map around your church. And then when people snap a picture and they're going through the filters, they'll see your church's filter on there. And man, the people use it, and people are really all about that. So Snapchat, maybe that's one of the ways that you redeem it. For our student ministry, we've actually given our Snapchat permissions away, which is a different way of thinking through things. We've given a student the ability to post on our student ministry's behalf. A lot of trust involved in that one, but it's our students engaging with our students, and it's done very, very well. So find ways to redeem it. Find ways to use it to bring God glory. It is a social media, and it is one that's being so incredibly active for our youth. Next up, this is the business professional social media. Can you guess it? Business professional? Yeah, it's LinkedIn. 100 million active users. LinkedIn has over 450 million user profiles. This is the professional social network. And so I'm going to go over it real quick. I'm going to go quicker over the next couple. Use this one to build like your resume, to connect with other people in your field. And one of the strategies that you can do is you can leave digital endorsements for people that you're following. You can like digitally say they do this job and they do it great. You can engage with other kids ministry people. So here's my strategy for you. Go on. Most likely you might have a profile but haven't seen it in a while. So tidy it up a little bit, engage with some people, leave a couple of endorsements, and connect with at least one kids pastor on LinkedIn. Next up is Pinterest, 100 million active users, and this is visual content. And so people will go onto a web page and they'll clip a picture basically from the site and drop it onto a board, organizing their boards. And these are all visually done. And a warning for you, you need to make sure that you're pinning and repinning from reputable sites. I've seen some kids ministers especially get a little in trouble with this one because maybe there's one picture on that site that's great that they pin, but the rest of the pictures are pretty bad. So make sure that you're checking out things before you are sharing it to your Pinterest. But here's a challenge. You can use Pinterest for your next stage design or your next signage or event. I know a church in Murfreesboro, I visit them on a regular basis, Experience Community. They are a Pinterest church, and I love it. I love walking in and seeing what they've done with their environments, and I bet you new parents love it too. They walk in and they see new, and they like, I really like this nursery. It's clean, and it is engaging with my kids, and it's not 50 years old in the basement. Their building is so old, it's probably over 100 years old, but they have used Pinterest to make an environment for their parents, for the kids. So here's my strategy for you. I would suggest creating some shared boards. You can share a board with other people in your church. So maybe you connect with your preschool pastor or some coordinators or maybe even just some parents, and you put them where they can post to that board, and you share different things. You collaborate, come together, come up with the best way that you can decorate your next facility. Next time you're redesigning a room or a stage, check out Pinterest, work together. You're going to be happy that you did. Now, social media is changing. It changes so rapid that it's honestly hard to keep up. One of the things that's just changing incredibly is this when it comes to social media. 80% of time spent on social media is done via mobile. And so when you're putting content on any of these sites, I want you to be seeing how it looks on mobile, how it interacts on mobile, because 80%, and that number is just growing rapidly. All right, now here's a couple of tools for you. I'm just going to give you a couple. I imagine you can find a post on I Love Kidmin. You know, you could search, and you don't have to create a new one. You could search and find all kinds of stuff on there. First tool is to build a team. That really is a game changer when it comes to social media, with your church, with anything. When you build a team, you have different people bringing their gifts. You know, the body of Christ. Some people have an eye for photography. Some people have an ear for the way things should be written out to parents. Bring this team together and build a great social media for your church and the people outside of it. Second thing is to check out things like Hootsuite or Buffer. There's a lot of scheduling tools. You don't have to be on social media all the time. You can put what I do is I spend some time on Friday, usually in the 9 to noon. I sit at a coffee shop. I'll schedule out a lot of posts for the different groups and pages and everything that I'm a part of. And I'll still check it from time to time, but I don't want social media to be a time waster for me or a distraction for me. But I do want God to say, well done, good and faithful servant. So check out Hootsuite, check out Buffer. You can even schedule now to Instagram. Before you couldn't do that at all, but now like on Buffer, it makes it super easy where you can add it, and it'll pop up with a reminder, and you just go yes, and it copies it, and then you hit done or paste and done. It's amazing. So check out those things, Hootsuite, Buffer. There's a lot of them out there. And then another resource for you that I just want you to be aware of because it's helped me so much is Go Weekly. This is an orange product that has social media and different things for your volunteers and for your parents. It breaks it up into 2 categories, and every week it posts on there so many resources, but there's also just social media content that you can use in your ministry. Go Weekly they make it easy. They make you look good. And so really check that one out. I think you'll be happy with it. All right, so today we talked through some social media strategies, how to painlessly take full advantage of this tremendous tool for you and the families in your church. And I really want to challenge you to change your thinking when it comes to social media. It doesn't have to be an obligation. I want you to change that to a ministry. God has given you this tool. You can help families in your church get closer to God. Each week, you can help people so that when they pull out their device, instead of it just being a distraction, that it can bring their family together. So let's use this resource. Let's use it for God's glory, to build God's kingdom, so that in the end, you and I hear, well done, good and faithful servant. It's been an honor to connect with you today. If you want to find me on social media, you can find me at Corey Ray Jones. I'm so excited for the Kidmin Nation, not just to be a part of it, but to watch it myself. It's so great. So stay engaged, put it on your calendar, make sure that you are continuing to follow up. And hey, if you like this video, maybe go through it again, watch it with a team, write down some notes. But I want to really challenge you to do something. If you are just a hearer of the word and not a doer, you're missing out. If you are hearing these great talks over the Kidmin Nation, but it's not changing what you're doing, you're wasting your time. And God has given you this gift, so use it. Steward it for Him. Steward it for His glory and His kingdom. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. I will catch you later.